All right. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to round 12 of season 10 here in AM2. It's another AM Tuesday. We're doing this one with a heavy heart in remembrance of Takeoff, the fallen Migo. I'm Kitten Petter, of course, joined alongside by Andy Wu, and this is always one of the better races of the season. Wouldn't you say?
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
That was
fun track to drive, but yeah, the racing is pretty train heavy. Kind of reminds me of a Riley Reid video, but it's an interesting track. But with the race being dry, I'd say you are probably in for a procession.
Okay, well, that's a really good way to keep everybody interested. Shelly the Turtle goes fastest after Cam Tizzle knocked off Cheesehead. This was the first 3 times across the board. Shelly with a 30.296. We are looking at a 29.666. Praise the devil. Set by Not Rapid in EU3 today. That is the fastest time of the week. So these guys are already off to a hot start, about half a second behind that, as this circuit continues to rubber in. Electric Blade is starting a hot lap. We'll do a lap around here with him as we well, what do you want to do? You want to hit the standings real quick before things start getting hot and heavy?
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, might as well. Cars Ben is now in commanding championship position with only 3 rounds remaining. He has 4 wins, 8 podiums, and he has 192 points, 24 points ahead of Cam Tizzle, and we've seen a big shift the last 2 weeks. Ben with a pretty comprehensive win last week in an absolute slog at Singapore. Electric, his teammate who we're riding on board with right now, is in 3rd in the championship, 162. So he's still all 3 of those guys are mathematically eligible to win, but Ben has really stepped it up after what's been probably the most enjoyable AM3 championship fight, AM2 championship fight I've seen in my days of commentating here. Cheesehead has separated himself from the rest of the pack in P4. He's on 97 points. Dream jumps into the top 5 on 58. Secure the Perks is in 6th. Shelly is in 7th. Wing at 8th. E-Warren 9th. Bergie in 10th. Chase in 11th, tied with VTech, who is not here tonight. Insight in 13th. Deathstorm 14th. Texas, who we just saw have a pretty interesting start to the session, in 15th. Harris in 16th, Future 17th, Express 18th, and of course DK in 19th, because he only did 1 race. So those are all the full-time drivers this year. Pretty sure Alpine's already won the Constructors' Championship, but that, you know, there are some interesting battles through the field. Don't really have to get into those right now, as Electric Blade has gone P1, now that I finally look up. And an interesting development, which I did not know was a thing. We got dudes on hard compound tires, medium compound tires. I guess this was part of the latest update. Lord knows I haven't been watching or playing this game the past couple days. But yeah, now it looks like you get more than just a bunch of softs to qualify on. Really no point in that, considering the you get open choice on tires now. So not really sure what the point is, but
I would assume that they only have 2 sets of softs, a set of mediums and a set of hards for qualifying, and that when they go to the race, they'll have the tires from qualifying plus the extra set of each tire for the race. So that way you'll have 2 sets of mediums, 2 sets of hards, and I think it would be 3 sets of softs for the race. Just like you haven't touched the game, but I would assume that's probably how they have it set up.
That's an interesting theory. I'll give you that. Let's go with Dream. Just mentioned he hopped up into the top 5 in points, and he's going backwards through Dunlop.
Very easy to do.
Yeah, one of the trickiest corners on the track. People have died there. I've watched people die there before, so Dream is not alone in losing it through there.
He does have a pretty neat helmet. I don't know if you've gotten a good look at it, but I think he incorporated the yellow very well into that helmet.
Is it gold or yellow?
It's, I mean, it matches the like neon. I don't know if you can get a good look at it, but it kind of looks like a trident on the side of his car, or on the side of his helmet. That's kind of tough. It's always hard to get good angles of it, but you know, shout out to the people that actually put effort into their helmets. Yeah. It's a lost art.
It really is. Got a couple of contenders, or what we think are contenders tonight, in Shelly and Cam. They're starting pretty close to one another. Cam actually did not give Shelly a whole lot of space. So this might end up getting a little tight if Shelly makes a mistake. Either way, they're both through Degner 1 and Degner 2. Shelly puts up a purple Sector 1. As this track is going to continue to get faster as we go along. A lot of dirt already on the side pod of that Ferrari.
Pretty realistic. Off the track at some point.
Yeah, pretty realistic there. Shelly through Spoon. Now, Shelly only one podium this year. Definitely looking to improve on that, and he probably has. This is the kind of circuit that Shelly's pretty handy at. So I'm gonna say I think Shelly's in for a pretty good night tonight here in Suzuka. Well, that's until he crashes like lap 8, but it's neither here nor there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. See, the Bollard is already knocked off going into the Casio Triangle. Wonder whose bright idea that was, as Shelly goes P1. 29.882. We're getting closer to the week record so far, which will be broken eventually. But Cam Tizzle does not improve from P3. Cheesehead, I guess that was not a timed lap. Again, this leaderboard still is still not accurate when guys are on out laps or fast laps. Going through the field, do have a couple of reserves tonight. Of note, actually, the biggest one. Give a special shout out to Tin Man the Rowdy, who won himself the AM3 championship last night. We'll be seeing him up here next year full time, hopefully. I would assume so.
Clap it up.
Clap it up for Tin Man. Give him a nice little drive through the sun here. Good job from him.
Lovely little fish helmet.
Yeah, lovely little fish helmet. We also have Nas Racing. He's reserving up in Aston Martin for Express, who's a little busy tonight playing Call of Duty. I think Acid Masters also. We saw Acid Masters, I believe, in Netherlands.
Oh, Nas just spun in. Oh, there's ghosting on!
Oh, and that is Chase. Oh, and Chase is...
Whoops. Yeah, Nas, I know he was just trying his best to get out the way because he was sideways in the middle of the track, but yeah, a little bit of a mistake is probably an understatement.
Yeah, not entirely sure. I can think of one guy who's probably not going to be super thrilled about that entire situation. His name's probably Chase. I think this has been on a hot lap, so we're right on board with him through Sector 3. Let's check Sector 2 time. Hasn't set a lap yet, so pretty important. I guess he could really stamp his authority here on the championship. Up 24 points now. And this sector line's coming anytime soon. Up in the right-hand corner, let's see where he's at. Oh, yeah, obviously he hasn't set a lap yet, but it is a purple Sector 2. From Ben, allegedly from the game. Through the Casio Triangle. Looks like he gets traction down pretty well, hugging the inside line. It's the Pro Gamer move. It's a 31.09 for Ben. He is provisionally P2. He's got like a Mario Andretti style helmet on. Matty Rabo's joined. Of course, Super Sub Extraordinaire. Obviously doesn't have anything to do on Wednesday mornings. Uses this to gather some information for his races in EU2, which you can check out tomorrow. It's that time change messing me up. Is it 4?
I think
4
it's
now?
5.
5 Eastern, yeah, okay.
Because it's been 4 Eastern.
I don't understand
pretty
how
sure
this stuff works. I don't understand how
Definitely not 3 Eastern. So check in at 4. If it's not started, then it's at 5.
Yeah.
Or check in at like 4:50. Give us a minute. We're people too.
Yeah. Dream goes P5 in the Aston Martin. He's flying solo tonight. Well, not flying completely solo, but NOS Racing now has a 5-second time penalty, or 5 grid place penalty due to that contact with Chase NASCAR. He's on a hot one.
Electric Blade is in the essence right now. If you want to go on board with him, he just started one.
He's hogging up all the airtime today. Is Electric Blade. Texas Tornado says, "Did y'all catch my troubles on stream?" We did not catch it on stream, but we were both watching in bemusement. As a really, I'm not sure what was going on there.
It was wheel issues. His car would only turn left.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yep, too much NASCAR. It's my diagnosis.
Oh, that's a tricky spot. Who is that? Was that, I think, Tin Man on the inside of
Red Bull. E. Warren.
For electric? That looked like a Alpha, I thought. Nah, either way, I might be hallucinating. Who knows?
It could be.
Been taking a lot of ayahuasca recently. Deathstorm has retired, and I think...
That was in the pits.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Solid lap from Electric, though. Jumps into the 29s, but doesn't quite get up to Shelley's 29.8, which is... I do just want to say I called that before the session started, or the stream started. And it said Bolt was probably going to be around 29.8 for AM2.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it, so...
Yeah, Shelley did.
Well,
Shelley knows.
I guess that's what he's shooting for. Cam Tizzle now into Kobayashi corner. Hopefully these Alpine boys aren't feeling too much pressure, but they do have the constructors locked up. We've seen a pretty good turn in performance for Ben past couple weeks, and a little bit of misfortune for the Alpine guys, and that's sometimes all it takes to decide a championship. The final third or so of the season. Let's see what Cam's split is. He is 5/10 up nearly.
Yep.
This is looking like a pretty good lap from Cam Tizzle as he enters the Casio Triangle.
It was all the way down to second gear. Normally, I would expect a little higher gearing there, but
810
seems to make it work.
Cam is on pole for now. Let's go with AM3 champion Tin Man. Oh, never mind. He is invalidated. Eve Warren looks like he is on a hot one.
I think we got half the grid out on out laps. So I don't think the Alpine guys would be setting any more laps. So I think from outside of them, everyone else is just getting ready to start one.
Looks like Secure the Perch just started one as well. See Cheesehead talking about runs of form as we've gotten into this season. Who's that? Someone just retired in the pits, I think.
It was Electric.
Cheesehead 3 straight podiums for Cheesehead. Coming down the stretch. And a win after the fact. He's still in P7 right now. Red Mask, as a matter of fact, is actually up in P6. But probably the biggest surprise so far in this session is, who is that? That is a Ferrari. Is that Shelley? I believe Shelley might have lost it coming out of turn 2.
I think that's a good observation. And I'd probably assume that he's not going any faster by the time qualifying ends, but he does have to be careful not to impede anyone. He's got one more Haas, I think, of our favorite serve Red-Mask. Yeah, that was close.
Invalidation from Cheesehead. He's probably not thrilled. Who's our favorite airman? It's DK. He's coming through Sector 1 right now. Follow him on board. There's probably people closer to the start-finish line, but
I think it'd probably be the Willie of Secure the Perks will be our first to complete his lap, and he's a second and a half up in his time.
well, not hard to do when you're about 3 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's only going to be P13 for Secure the Perks.
Red Bull. He was done. You were not improving.
Bergie.
Ben, I think, is coming to the line. P2 for Ben.
Oh, Ben.
29.8.
Oh, missed Ben. Bergie runs real wide. And he goes P5. Good lap from Bergie.
Good lap.
Good lap from Bergie. This is a big field spread as well. A little bit bigger than usual. I guess not really.
No, not really.
12.
It's just, it's weird when the second number is two different ones. Acid Masters, P5.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Just ahead of Bergie.
I did mention we've only seen him a couple times this year, but he did dominate an AM3 race, and this is Red Mask without a front wing. So I'm not sure if that's gonna. Well, I'm sure that's probably gonna do it from qualifying here today. Number 1 and number 2 again will be on pole, or the front row, and this time is Cam. And if there's ever a time that he's needed a result in his league racing career, it's probably tonight. No pressure.
Oh no, the Bergie got 5th place grid penalty for blocking. I hope that doesn't translate because that is silly. Oh, he got another one. What is going on?
What?
He got 2 5-place grid penalties for illegal blocking, but he's
not even in control of his car.
Yeah, and his brother, Cheesehead, was the one right behind him. Oh, they did oh, and Ben got one too. Probably for, I'd assume, the same thing.
What?
No, Ben got one for when Texas Tornado hit him.
Oh my god.
At the beginning during all those shenanigans. Oh my goodness.
Wow, this is really throwing a bit of a wrench into into the race here tonight. As we touched on earlier, it's very difficult to overtake here. Really only 1.5 overtaking zones on the entire circuit. It's more of just hanging on for dear life most of the time. Cam, Ben, Shelly, Electric, Acid Masters, Bergie, Dream, Red Mask, Cheesehead, and DK are your top 10. We'll have to see how all those penalties shake out in just a moment. Nice to see that the chat's a little lively. Looks like BK is in the chat. What's going on, BK? It says Alpine on top. Yeah, that's pretty hot. Nos Racing says I am a trash can. BK says it was entertaining at least. I wasn't even trying to wreck. I thought I was ghosted, but there goes my career. Wouldn't get that intense. Mistakes happen. But there is no ghosting on permanent circuits in AM2. So take that as a lesson, I guess. Maddie says it's 128 currently, so not too late this week. Shelly says got milk. And Motor says would have races, but smoked 4 blunts and said I'd really highly doubt that.
Yeah, dude.
It was definitely like 2 hits off a dab pen. They call them blinkers. Is that what the kids call them? Blinkers? I've seen that on TikTok.
You kind of sound. You kind of are reminding me of the meme of like the old guy with the skateboard in the middle of a high school right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like.
Yeah,
league racing here. So, well, anyways, let's get ready for what should be a pretty fun race. Presumably, disregard what Andy said at the start. I think there's going to be a lot of passing, a lot of action here tonight.
What's wrong with a Riley Reid video full of trains?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with good old-fashioned train. Shelly's dedicating his race for takeoff. Rest in peace again. This race is dedicated in his honor. Should probably mute. Oh, there we go. Ha! There we go. Forgot to killed the Twitch stream as I started playing this. Cam Tizzle does start on pole. Kind of lost count. I feel like he's had a lot of poles this year, though. And unfortunately, he's not going to be starting next to his championship rival. So he'll be starting next to Shelly the Turtle. An Electric Blade will be right behind him, his teammate offering moral support from the rear. Acid Masters moves up into P4 due to Ben's penalty, and it's a very strong starting position for him, reserving here tonight. Dream in P5. Ben really got boned there by that illegal blocking penalty after I don't even think he had control of his car. Red Mask had a pretty good qualifying. He's in P7. She's heading 8th, looking for his 4th consecutive podium, as he continues to make a very strong case for best of the rest here in AM2 Season 10. DK in 9th, still knocking off the cobwebs a little bit, but did finish every lap last week in Singapore. Tin Man in 10th, AM3 champion, reserving here tonight. Better get used to the guys around him. E. Warren in P11, secure the perks in P12. Harris is actually going to be starting on hards in P13. Interesting call. We'll see how that plays out for him. Deathstorm in 14th. Chase in 15th. Bergie in 16th, and he got boned even harder than Ben, but this one doesn't really have championship ramifications. Matty Robbo in 17th. Texas in 18th. Hopefully he's figured out whatever was going on with his wheel or whatever earlier. And then Nas Racing, after taking out Chase, inadvertently of course, he will be bringing up the rear in the second Aston Martin. Any predictions, Andy?
I mean, we got a bit of tire difference going on up front. Acid Masters on the softs, a little exciting there, and then Red Mask on the hards. Right, we got 2 different starts coming for those 2 guys.
Yeah, more than likely. Got the lights starting to go, and they're already off. Would you look at this? Cam Tizzle looks like he gets slightly... No, he doesn't. Shelly gets a better run as we get the swivel cam through turn 1 and 2. My favorite camera on the entire game, being honest. Looks like a pretty clean getaway for all 19 of these drivers. But Shelly, the biggest winner, as he goes from 2nd to 1st, and he is now in control of this race. Cam Tizzle has to deal with the Dirty Air Acid Masters on those softs, gains a spot on Electric Blade, and Ben, who's probably a little pissed off right now due to the game's ineptitude, is into P4. Electric Blade back in 5th, Dream in 6th, DK in 7th, Cheesehead, Tin Man, and Red Mask round out the top 10. But all these guys look like they got through pretty clean. Which is
no wing
always good
damage,
to see.
I don't think, for anyone.
Secure the perks actually lets Bergie by, look like, and now that's Chase. He's got a point to prove, trying to get around him, and this is very, very tight stuff.
Oh, we got tagged! Stream! Got tagged by DK.
Was it DK or was it Red Mask?
It was DK.
Oh, it's DK. That's a bummer for Dream. Who?
And Chase is around, out on the exit of the spoon. I'm not sure what happened there. That could have been he was on the inside and maybe got turned in on. Very easy to have happen.
Bad news bears for him.
Masters.
Acid Masters and Cam Tizzle. I think Acid Masters might have gotten to Cam.
Yeah, I think Cam reset the track, which also isn't ideal. Oh, and a very illegal pit entry. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, we have seen a little bit of everything so far already.
Yep.
Is what looked like a pretty bad situation for Ben. Now looks like a pretty favorable one, as he is up into P2 and Acid Masters has lost it. Does he have damage? It doesn't look
I
like
think he was just letting everyone by. He has really hot tires and probably can't run through that part of the track as quick as everyone else. Yeah, as you said, a situation that didn't look good for Ben. Now has him in P2.
DK loses it a little bit out of the second Degner, and he's actually going to give up a few more spots. He's going to get the run instead of secure the perks, but these guys are pretty tight. And look at Bergie plays as they head up to Spoon.
Oh, a little bit of contact going into the corner. But a good start for Bergie. A really good start, actually, compared to where he started. After all his bad luck, up 8 spots.
Bit of poetic justice for Ben and Bergie, the two who kind of got screwed there by the game. DK right on the back of this battle. Secure the perks, trying to follow his teammate through here. And now see what DK can do. Ben pumps in fastest lap, but that's followed by Electric and Cheesehead. Ben's got this gap down to about 7/10 right now already with DRS enabled. Of course, only one DRS zone on this entire track, but it's pretty overpowered, being fair. It's the main straight, of course. And top 5 all within a couple seconds there. Tin Man up into P5.
Trying to hold on.
Yeah, trying to hold on, but he's got a decent sized gap behind him. He Warren 3 seconds off the back of him. If he can stay in the DRS range, we might see a top 5 kind of breakaway train. Like, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, good run from Bergie out of Degna 2 into the hairpin.
Oh, you gotta be
outside.
You've got to be so careful going into that too, not to get any part of
Whoa,
that tire.
look at him.
Any part of that tire on the outside grass, otherwise you're dead. Oh, no! Speaking of dead, it's Red Mask.
Oh no,
Bergie wasn't clear.
It always tapers off there, but yeah, not ideal for either of those guys.
Yeah, that's not a great look. I don't think it was intentional at all, but it is racing. Shelley somehow looks like he might have lengthened that gap out just a little bit.
Ben still has DRS along with the top 4. Tin Man fell off the back of these guys, but I think he'd be very pleased if he walked up in AM2 and snatched a P5 after he clinched the AM3 championship.
Yeah, definitely a good measure of confidence for him heading into next year, where I think he'll probably slot in pretty competitively in the AM2 field. Either way, Electric Blade is all over the back of Ben as we have a yellow flag.
That's Nos Racing and Red Mask both out. Not out of the race, Red Mask is, but Nos Racing spun out at turn 2.
What is happening?
We got
here?
full course yellow. Full course caution for Red Mask DNFing out of turn 2. That's really a shame because he did look really good up until that point.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Red Mask is out, and we have a safety car. There it is. Look at the safety car, just letting everybody by. Shelly Turtle is leading. Still, I wouldn't expect any pit stops for these guys on the medium compound tires, but seeing as there's 9 of them in a row, I think maybe some of these guys towards the back of that might take a.
I mean, if I'm E. Warren, I think I might pit here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have the pace to keep up with the top 4. Maybe you can get past 10 man on the start here, but why not take a gamble?
Let's see. Shelly sells a dummy. Doesn't look like anybody's really buying. E. Warren is thinking about it. He might have just heard what you said. But he's not going to take your advice. Bergie's going to come up behind him, and I think none of these guys. It is a little bit early. I don't think that these hards would last the entirety of the race, but you never know. It could be more
20 laps
cars.
on the hards around Japan isn't the worst thing I've ever heard. Probably doesn't sound very fun, but I have a feeling Cam Tizzle's going to end up doing it. Back down in 15, he pit after he got flipped by Acid Masters and you saw his entry into the pits, but I don't think he's pitting again, if I'm being honest. Maybe he proves me wrong here and goes soft medium or something, but I think he's probably going to be best served staying out. I'm a little surprised nobody went with the hards.
Yeah, everybody keeping to the status quo there. I'm a little surprised too, but I can't really blame anybody because you really can't tank your race this early. Unfortunately, I think Cam says that he's at a loss for words. He has underbody damage after whatever happened between he and Acid Masters at the end of that first lap. And really hate to see that. Really hate to see that. Great season so far from Cam, and really deserve to have a better shot at going taking this down to the wire. But it's going to be really difficult to overcome around such a fast and flowing circuit such as Suzuka. Very unfortunate.
Unfortunately, I think we may be talking championship clinching scenarios next week. If
I think we probably will be, which
as long as nothing bad happens to Ben up in P2.
Yeah, Cam says he got pit maneuvered. I'm assuming that's Acid Masters that did that, and the fact that that's a reserve, definitely not what you want to see. Either way, we could all be sad, or we could try to drum up a little bit of excitement for what is looking like a pretty tasty race, at least between these top four. Shelly the Turtle has led Ben and Electric Blade and Cheesehead. These four have kind of split off from Tin Man there in P5. Could have some interesting pit scenarios going on later on in this race, and I definitely wouldn't doubt another safety car, perhaps, especially if these guys start getting pent up a little bit behind this one. Start getting a little aggressive.
I mean, I could see it happening. It is very difficult to pass, but I mean, we have seen people already make it pretty far up the grid from where they started. Doing a little race recap position-wise, Shelly, we saw him take the lead on the start-up spot. Ben up 4, Cheesehead up 4, Tin Man up 5. Just really capitalizing from the chaos. E. Warren as well, but Bergie up 9 spots. Secure the Perks up 4, and Texas Tornado up 9 as well. Most of the top 10 big movers, as you would tend to expect when you lose 3 guys out of the top 5.
Movers and shakers. Happy to see Bergie back up to towards where he qualified. Because Bergie has been a little off and on all year, but he's had some really good races. So nice for him.
He's usually been really good in like the changeable condition races. We saw him in Zandvoort get his best result of the season, and then Singapore last week looked really good. Can't remember if he got a good result there or not, but I definitely remember him up near the front.
Yeah,
I really don't remember a lot.
Bergie finished 4th. Bergie finished 4th last week. Yeah, you and I both. It tied his best finish of the season. He also finished 4th in the Netherlands. As we're going to go green here, starting lap 7. It's going to be Shelly the Turtle. Whoa, as Ben gets real close there, and he's really backing him up here. You just see all these guys just starting to go 2 by 2. Nothing you can really do. There's a lot of Constantina effect going on through the Casio triangle. So
we're gonna have some side-by-side racing back towards 7th. I think everything's gonna work its way out.
Yeah, it looked like there was a Toro Rosso and a Red Bull I think got together.
Red Bull around.
That's
it's
Deathstorm, and yeah, that is the story of his season, unfortunately. Always something going wrong. I'm not sure if that was Chase or Harris. Yeah, but they were going side by side through there. His Mouse Racing, I believe, has lost it as well.
Yes, I think he kept it going though. Pretty good save.
Yeah, still only had 1 position to lose. Texas Tornado was all over the back of Secure the Perks. Just try to get this sorted.
Cam is out.
Cam is out.
It looks. He quoted Jules Bianchi from like 2014 or 2013, not 2014.
Yeah.
But he just kind of went straight on through Degna 2.
That is easy, especially with underbody damage like that. I wonder if he maybe got that floorboard.
Oh,
outside curb.
Very easy to do.
Could have just sent him straight for the barriers. No safety car though, it doesn't look like. So we're off yet again. I'll see if Cam can explain that in the comments once he gets checked out of the infield care center. Who have seen a lot of work over the years. I think Shelly now leading 4/10. This is about where we left off. Let's see if Tim can hold on to the
Electric Blade's running less swing than Ben. And I don't know if he's faster or not. Obviously, everyone's tucked up under, they're in a train behind Shelly, so everyone will be going as fast as Shelly can go. But, Electric Blade looks good right now. Knock on wood. I don't want to be the reason he ends up in a wall.
Yeah. No. He is now the only hope for Alpine.
Oh, DK! Out of Dunlop. Oh, he's got cars coming.
Sheesh. Oh, man. DK having a rough time here tonight. Cam says he just rode the curb, oversteered, then overcorrected. Yeah. Damage probably didn't help. He also wants to propose a rule where reserves aren't allowed to qualify, and I've always been a proponent for that rule personally.
Big fan.
Have to take that up with the Europeans.
Yep.
That is a very unfortunate situation that's developed here tonight.
Big save from Berge in P7. He was completely sideways out of Spoon corner.
Berge doing pretty good. As we mentioned earlier, he's trying to stay within contact of E. Warren as DRS will be enabled this lap. Warren might have lost it. Tin Man's lost again. I think he's his top 4. You're going to get the winner out of. And these guys are all pretty packed in. We'll see how crazy they want to get. So only lap 9 of 27. I think they're currently just taking it easy. I think they know that they are the fastest 4 on track at the moment.
E. Warren's actually burnt a fair chunk of his ERS to either stay ahead of Berge or try to run down Tin Man. Could leave him a bit vulnerable if they do get into a situation of having to have a DRS duel. And I think it's another spin for DK through the S's.
Just not been
Just
great.
knocking the rust off.
Yeah, at least for DK, he does get a four races here to kind of get used to the game in a league setting before he can. Hopefully, I would probably expect him to be one of the front runners next season in AM2.
But in a pretty lengthy off season as well. At least that's what it's looking like.
Shout out to the World Cup. Who you got? Who you got in the World Cup?
America. No. It's hard to bet against Brazil.
I think I'm right.
They have
Brazil.
incredible depth, and they look good. Anyone but England, really. That's about where I'm at.
Now there is a bit of an issue with Brazil right now. It's like there's trying to throw a coup.
Up front, Ben looking to the outside of Shelly in the dirt, just about.
Oh man,
entering turn 1.
This is all field through 1 and 2. When you're racing side by side like this, there's a whole lot of bad things that can happen. It's a very interesting first couple corners. Can't get the move done. You got plenty of room, but cars do tend to filter up to the top. Someone can easily end up off track.
I think Ben is running a fair chunk of downforce compared to the rest of these guys. He had DRS and ERS and still wasn't able to really make too much progress on Shelly, who wasn't really burning his DRS that much. Still has 70% to Ben's. It's about 60.
Who
was that? Yep.
That was a pretty smooth. That's a pretty smooth getaway out of there. Not sure if he timed that correctly or if that was just lucky, but
E. Warren making a move into Spoon on Tin Man.
Oh, missed that. Good stuff from E. Warren though. up in the top 5. Only one
Here
podium
comes
for him all
Bergie,
year.
looking to the outside of 130R. Cleared him before he even got there.
Put an AM3 champion Tin Man in his place, apparently. Oh, his Tin Man goes deep into the Casio triangle. Does a good job to avoid everybody, but it is easy to miss your braking point when there's cars right in front of you like that. Secure the perks. The other Williams is now lining him up as well. That's what happens when you got all these guys so close together. You got 2 different trains forming. This one's going to go all the way back to P9. Dream's done a good job to get himself back into the top 10. He's flirting with DRS on Texas Tornado.
Yeah, friend Ben didn't quite get the run out of the final corner that he was looking for at that lap, so no move was really on there. Electric Blade, though, staying tucked up right behind him.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on. Shelly's doing a good job of absorbing it, and so has Ben. So far, Cheesehead's kind of backed off a little bit. I think he knows that he's got a huge gap behind him. You can just kind of watch this play out.
I think as long as he has DRS down the main straight, I think he'll be okay to sit where he is.
Not even halfway through the race yet, so no real need to do anything too crazy. Oop, we get a helicopter shot. Gotta catch that. Shelly followed by Ben, followed by Electric Blade, followed by Cheesehead. 3.5 seconds nearly between the top 4 and 5th place E. Warren, who's leading a train himself. Ooh,
Harris Lexus spun out of Spoon. And speaking of that little train behind him, E. Warren and Bergie, I think we might have a move into turn 1 here. Bergie's looked really strong down the straights. As long as he gets on the button nice and early here.
Electric is in the pits. A little early, but...
Here comes Bergie. Oh, late move from E. Warren. Oh my goodness. Bergie was able to get it done in turn 1, and and E. Warren all out of shape out of 2, and he's going to get past the Tin Man. Oh, he tried to keep his nose in there. That was silly.
Yeah, he gotta back out of that.
Yep. Now he's got a lot of people coming, including his teammate.
Painful wait there for E. Warren, and it was looking really good for him. But yeah, I think that's a racing incident. But you gotta know when to back out.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, Ben almost nailed Shelly in the hairpin. Got right up on him. These guys got to respond this lap to see if there's any sort of undercut from Electric.
There could be.
Electric is stuck behind Harrisplex right now, who is on the hards, but does have no ERS to fight him. So I think by the time they get to the main straight, there won't be too much of a battle going on there.
With how close all these guys are, the top 4 were, and how close everyone behind them is, this could be like an overcut situation as well. I mean, you never know. But we'll see what these 3 do, right along with Cheesehead. And Shelly goes in. All 3 of them come in, and now we will watch.
Oh, Ben! Really deep. Oh my goodness, I don't know how he didn't either run into the back of Shelly or speed into the pits, but shout out to ABS there.
Let's go back to Blade. We'll see where he comes out. He's probably going to have no problem with Harris.
But it might give him a run into turn 1 on these guys with DRS on Harris.
Harris is moving around a little bit.
Lagging around a little bit.
And there they are.
Oh, and he lost out to Cheesehead, who is taking the lead.
Oh, and he runs deep on the cold hards.
But he's got it. He's got it back.
Yeah, he hangs on to it. Good job from Cheesehead. And we've seen a
third to first. Fourth to first, really.
We've seen a completely rejuvenated Cheesehead. Oh, he's electric. Goodness
he's forcing Shelly into a mistake here. Let's see if he's gonna run under him. Oh my goodness.
And he's gonna have to back out.
His tires are so much warmer than these guys, though.
Hey, definitely
picked up a warning there.
I bet he's not gonna be too thrilled that Harrisplex was in his way that entire lap, because I think he would have jumped these boys. But we're back to where they were when they pit.
Kind of.
Just a little bit different. And Cheesehead looking for another win here after mentioned earlier, I think during the formation lap. He's coming off 3 consecutive podiums. Cheesehead really just turning turning into a great piece of form here. As the season winds down, bodes well for him next year. And season 11.
Look at Shelley. Oh, look, he might have a run on. Oh, he downshifted through 130R.
That's
he had a real big run on Ben. So definitely showing that he does have low downforce on that Ferrari, but didn't make anything of it. And if Ben gets past Cheesehead here, it might be night-night, but Cheesehead holding strong, at least on this first outlap on the hards.
Seeing some of these hards go quickest. Texas Tornado just set fastest lap after Matty Bravo did on 13-lap old hards. And Cheesehead does lead the guys through the S's. And not sure how that entire pit stop sequence turned out, but he did a pretty good job.
Dream is spun. He had just pit. Yeah, so that's on the fresh hards. Not sure if he has any damage. It's really hard to see.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Dream had just done a really good job after getting punted earlier in the race by DK. Got himself back up in the top 10. Oh, Bergie.
Oh, no,
Bergie has no front wing. He lost it out of Dunlop. Oh, and that's awful news from Bergie, who was having a really strong performance here tonight. Building off a P4 last week in Singapore. And that might just be the end of any competitiveness that he could have had. E. Warren behind him has all kinds of dirt and dust. Not sure if they got together or anything. Secure the perks in the pits. Aston Masters is leading. Beneficiary of the tire strategy that he put on.
Shelley doesn't quite have the pace as the top two. Running that lower downforce, he just can't make it through the corners as quick. But he's making Electric Blade work, trying to get past him.
Electric Blade is up he's in his guts right now. He's carrying Shelley off and going. Yeah.
Oh, Cheesehead really wide out of Dunlop. Got a little bit of dirt, but out of this top three now, Ben has the most DRS, and I think he's just waiting. If he breaks DRS from Shelley, who almost dumps it in a wall, allows Electric up his inside.
Into Kobayashi corner.
Yeah, there you go.
Kobayashi corner. Electric Blade gets the move done, but can he get back into DRS range on Ben? That's going to be the question. 1.3 seconds down with less than half the lap to go. Might have to burn a little ERS here to try to get himself back into it. Otherwise, Shelley might be able to just get this spot right back.
I mean, if you're Ben, you got to get... This is your lap. This is the lap you make the move. You broke DRS from the cars behind. If you get past Cheesehead, the race is yours.
Oh, look at this.
Oh...
Closing
set him
in the
up.
Casio, yep. Takes a very nice line. Gets a good exit. Cheesehead fighting the car a little bit.
You just gotta burn it if you're Ben.
Fastest lap, and that is... He's gonna have this done before the corner.
Yeah. Textbook move there from the McLaren. Cheesehead tries to fight it back, but oh man, I think he lit his tires up. Now it's up to these guys with lower downforce to try to.
Ben, is this Harris on track perhaps, or is that in the pits?
I think that was in the pits.
In the pits, Harris. Something must have come up for Harris. Now it is a Mercedes 1-2 if you look at the leaderboard. But it is not really like that. Cheesehead picks up a 3 second time penalty. With the top four this close, that might be a backbreaker for him. Come the end of this race, Shelley's already dropped out of DRS. Just barely, just a skosh. As he fights that car out of turn 11.
Yeah, he just doesn't quite have the pace, Shelley. But it was fine when he was leading because his low downforce just kept him out front. But he really got cucked in the pit stops, dropping from the lead to third in the train. Worse than Electric Blade, who went from second to, or I guess he was third, and he dropped to fourth in the train. Now Ben, all these guys have no ERS. Ben burn it all to try to get away from, or ahead of Cheesehead and away from them. But Cheesehead's still fighting back, still within DRS of the McLaren.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a breakup here between these top four. Maybe Ben was the strongest driver in that pack all along. But
I think Blade still got something for him.
Yeah, Cheesehead's doing a pretty good job here, keeping it close as well. But it does look like Shelley's starting to fall off just a little bit on these harder compound tires.
I think Cheesehead, I mean, he must have a really aggressive setup in that car. He looks all over the place, everywhere.
This is pretty good stuff from these boys. I mean, just thinking forward to next season. Hopefully Cheesehead comes back. I would expect him to. Cheesehead would probably go into it, probably being the favorite in AM2. Just based off this second half of his season. Here.
Looks strong.
Been really good. Really competitive stuff from Cheesehead.
I'd say probably between Cheesehead and Shelley provisionally, assuming the top three all go up, which is very likely. But yeah, I mean, if everyone in AM2 returns, I'd say probably Cheesehead, Shelley, maybe Dream if he can put some races together and not have wretched luck. Probably.
Yeah, Dream has had.
Takes that third spot.
Dream's had a whale of a time, as I think. Ooh, Cheesehead was looking for a move there.
He's feisty.
He is looking for it, and I think Acid Masters and Matty Robbo up there in the old Mercs, I think they're trying to hold out, maybe for some softs towards the end of this race. Gap still 6 seconds. Back to the leaders on track as Ben having a little bit of a moment, almost looked like over Dunlop.
If Acid Masters is going with softs to the end, he'll probably be coming out around the Texas Tornado Secure the Perks battle for 8th and 9th. Don't know if he'll be able to work his way all the way back up to that top 4, but he'll definitely be putting Tornado and Secure the Perks under a lot of pressure. 10-man, P7 splitting those two little battles. Running a really good race.
Yeah, that's been really good from 10-man. Obviously lost a little bit in that pit stop exchange, but nothing to be ashamed of. Good old 10-man.
Running a good job up here. Action. That's not a DRS battle. I don't know if Cheesehead will have a run on. Ooh, that's on track. Not sure. It's a VSC, so that nullifies any move that Cheesehead was going to have into the first lap. But that does VSC for Matty. He pits.
Oh, that's a weird spot to lose it right there. If I had to guess, probably took a little too much of that inside curb and shot him right into that right side wall. Matty does take advantage there. He's going to throw on the mediums, and he's going to come out.
Oh, Texas Tornado sped in the pit. Why did he pit?
That's a good question.
He's going with me, yeah.
Yes, he's ended, but Matty Robert does end up in P8, not right behind, but he's going to have a tire advantage about 2.5 seconds behind to secure the perks.
I don't know why Texas Tornado pit.
And Shelley got a really good jump on that VSC. He is back into this fight. See the top 4 there. Acid Masters obviously up in front by 9 seconds.
Ben was able to recoup a fair amount of ERS there. Cheesehead, he's running on fumes, but Shelley and Electric look really good in terms of ERS usage at this point. Probably best if they save it for another couple of laps if I was them. Oh, Cheesehead. All out of shape. Going through Spoon on the limit.
This might be a run from Electric Blade into...
Oh,
Jesus Christ. I don't think that either one of those guys expected that.
I think Blade may go for the lead here. He's going to have DRS on Ben.
No, Electric has been just sitting back waiting all race.
He's not burning any ERS. If he's going to do it, it's with DRS, and DRS alone backs out of it.
He's gonna catch up right to the gearbox, and I think your assumption a couple laps ago might be correct. Electric might be the right stuff here as he gets a little bit of dirty air through the S's.
He's just got to keep it cool. He's got the straight line speed on Ben, and I mean, for really being equal on pace with Ben and having that straight line speed advantage, that bodes well for the Alpine.
Now, I do want to mention something, because I don't think that this is possible, but Aston Martin's 9-second lead, 8 laps to go, 7.5 laps to go here. On those 17-lap-old hards, I mean, could he theoretically make it? Much to the behest of Cam, for sure, but he is not really losing a whole lot of time, and I kind of expected him to pit during that VSC like Matty Rabo did, but he did not. So I think he might be trying to stick it out here, trying to get a win.
His tires look really bad. We don't have tests tonight, unfortunately, but just doing the eye test on him, you can see the graining on his tires pretty good. Just going on board with them.
Well, Shelly gets Cheesehead for P4 on track. But, I mean, yeah, I don't... These guys aren't catching him, though. So...
Blake backs out of it again, even after burning a lot of ERS down the main street. That's surprising.
Secure the perks in Matty Rabo. Oh, Matty Rabo.
Yeah, so I think as long as a tire doesn't blow for Acid Masters, he does have a chance. I'm trying to get a look at his steering wheel. It says his fuel
this is close 2/10 in a lap, so I mean it's like those are gonna fall off. I would have to assume, but I mean Acid Masters may have just somehow pulled off a pretty big strategy call. As Chase and Dream looks like going side by side, and they're gonna hook each other. Chase has had a rough evening tonight.
He's not having a good time with Aston Martins.
Yep, he's probably not going to. What was? Oh,
I think that was Bergie's AI.
Yeah, it was Bergie's AI. I think Bergie had just retired, and Chase is contemplating life right now.
He's waiting for DK, but he got.
I think he's waiting for a DQ.
Yeah, well, he was moving around.
Rough stuff. Hate to see that. But Chase had a pretty rough night, so can't really blame him too much. Meanwhile, back up front, these guys have not, again, they have not really cut down on Acid Masters' lead. 8.9 seconds, back up to 9. I mean, it's a 10th or 2 a lap at this point. Acid Masters is somehow.
I mean, he is really nursing these tires. I've been going on board with him for a couple laps. Yeah, I mean, he is, but he's hardly pushing. So I'm surprised the gap's not coming down, because he really is nursing these things. I mean, and if you go on board with Ben through the S's, he's whipping that thing, alright? But he's not really gaining anything on Acid Masters.
Yeah, this is really strange. Not entirely sure how this is happening. But yeah, Ben, obviously, gonna be a good result for him regardless, but I do feel bad for Cam because it's a double whammy for this guy that kind of allegedly took him out. And his championship rival, 1-2.
But yeah, so I mean, if he submits him for taking him out and Acid Masters gets 5 seconds, that could give the win to Ben.
But that's also
bad. Even worse than just having Acid Masters, the guy that took you out of the race, win the race.
It is all bad, and heading back to the start-finish line again, it's only a couple more tenths. 8.4 as we get to the line.
Yeah, Ben was a little quicker that lap, but I think he's more worried about what's behind him rather than trying to go win this race. Because if you're Ben, you have a pretty sizable championship lead. If you guys do go run down Acid Masters, right? The gap between first and second in this race is 7 points. But if you're only second and third, it's only 3 points between it. So I mean, they're fighting for, I guess what I'm trying to say, a smaller gap in points.
Yeah.
Ben, messes up. Worst case scenario, finishes second, or second through fifth. Not really too many points in it between those couple of spots.
So I take another sip of my ice cold Busch Light, reminiscing on the career of the man this race is memorialized to. Of course, Takeoff from Migos. Rest in peace, buddy. Matty Rabo is turning the screws on Tin Man for P6. Pumped in multiple fastest laps, got past Secure the Perks, which I missed. And he is back in it. His electric blade. Watch him again.
He's saving ERS. Blade is, and Ben is not.
Ben's working on his Pagano down the main straight.
Shelly is cotton right up to these guys. He's now up the gearbox of electric. Cheesehead's falling off a bit. Matty now through on Tin Man.
I think it's through on Tin Man. Tin Man's had a good race, but Matty has played the circumstances in his favor this evening. Up into P6. Secure the Perks a little bit behind that. Battle Dream back into the top 10. In 9th. And this is
the Storm.
Oh, look at that Storm. Good for him.
In the 10th. In 10th right now. Texas Tornado, who probably made the worst strategy call I've ever seen in my life. Jumping out of the points, he went from 7th to 11th.
And he also has a penalty, so the Storm probably shouldn't sweat too much. Either way, gap now under 7 seconds at the top, but we're about to start.
It's a straight line speed. That Mercedes, look at all the smooth brain time, as I like to call it, he's gaining on Ben. 4 tenths just through sector 3. That's ridiculous. A lot of time.
A lot of time. Well, apparently you can drive a pretty.
And then you'll watch it. So we're at 7.1 as we're crossing the line now. Blade's coming for a move.
Oh, he's on the button. Blades is on the button, and we get a terrible camera angle, and they're going side by side. Almost made contact. An electric blade is now the conductor of this train. Oh no, he's not! Oh, he has dropped it.
No!
And this is just about going to seal up. It'll probably be a championship.
Oh, but here comes. Oh no, and he blade spun it again.
You can hear some anger and frustration in that flick spin. That's terrible from electric.
Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much licks the stamp on the championship too.
I think it does.
Oh man, I don't know what the points situation is gonna look like. Ben, I'd assume, as long as Shelly doesn't get a move on him, which we've seen his straight line speed too, it's been even stronger than Electric's was. He may even try to make a move for this win too. I guess P2. Ask Masters. Still looks good up front.
Yep, only 6.7 is a triangle here, and there's only 2 laps to go here from Suzuka. As Acid Masters with an interesting race, might be in position here to win on only what second start in AM2. Is he EU2 full time? Actually,
I don't think so. I think he's an EU3 reserve.
No. Either way, he's been over here 3 times. He dominated the AM3 race at the Netherlands and made a strategy call here tonight that may really put him on the map.
Yeah. So things stay like they are right now. both Alpines would be tied on 168 points. Ben would be 42 points ahead of both of them. Which
he would need eight points to.
Well,
or wait.
I think as long as he doesn't get outscored next week, it will be championship or wrapped up. There's no way. If he wins and gets the fastest lap, I guess, in this one and things stay like they are, Ben could win the championship right now. But that doesn't look like it's going to be happening. Because I think he may lose P2 here to Shelly if Jelly could get a run on him. He doesn't quite have the ERS to burn, though.
Yeah, we're on the final lap here. 5 seconds is the gap. Shelly's had a really good race tonight as well. Props to him. See if he can line something up here in the final moments of this race. Meanwhile, they are starting to finally gain on Acid Masters. I think these tires have taken a pounding. Down to 4 seconds, but he can back off. He can afford that luxury here with only about half a lap to go.
Avoiding all the curbs. I'm going to be excited to ask him what his tire wear is by the time we get to it. Because I'd assume it's above 70 pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
But I wonder how far into the 80s it could be.
It's been a wild race for Acid Masters. Definitely played a bit of a role in making this championship. Bins to lose next week in Miami. But nonetheless, a very impressive drive from Acid Masters reserving. He becomes only the 5th different winner in AM2 this year, and Shelly's not going to quite get Ben. That is your podium. Cheesehead in 4th. Another good result from him. Matty Robbo gets all the way up to P5 after starting the back 10-man with a very respectable P6. The Perks in 7th. Electric Blade, what could have been, crosses
just
the line.
Holding on to 8th.
Yep, just holding on to 8th. Ahead of Dream and Deathstorm. Yeah, you'll score a point. These two are tied, by the way. Tied from 14th in the championship. So that'll break that tie. For that singular point, Deathstorm hangs on to. Texas in 11th, DK in 12th, E. Warren in 13th. Those are the finishers, and E. Warren had a good race going as well. Up until about 10 laps through this race.
And it was Ben, Shelley, and Acid Masters. Gotta get these boys in here.
Spicy boys. Matty Robbo gets driver of the day from the game. Good for him. Don't necessarily disagree with that. When you look at where he started and where he finished. There you have it. Acid Masters celebrating 4 Mercedes. On the top step of the podium, you see Ben right there. He's probably pretty excited. It's first time this year we get a Brit on top of the AM2 podium. Only his 2nd start. Broken up. Ben in P2, Shelly in 3rd. His second podium of the season. Cheesehead in fourth. Another good result from him. Matty comes all the way from 17th to finish 5th. Tin Man does a really good job in 6th. Secure the perks in 7th. Electric. Ugh. Rough night for him in 8th. Dream. Deathstorm. Round out the points. Texas Tornado. DK. E. Warren were the finishers. Bergie. Nos. Harris. Cam Tizzle. Red Mask and Chase did not finish tonight's race. Tin Man says he's not mad about P6 at all. He shouldn't be.
Let me see. Do we have? I think only Shelly is here.
Where's everybody else? Shelly, can you ask where everybody else is?
Yeah.
I sent a message. Okay, Ben is coming.
DK says, "What a game to learn."
It's tough.
Yeah, it's not great, man.
Yeah, definitely one of the worst games to just come in late with weird traction, weird cars, didn't really handle too well. But we got second and third, and since I don't want to be here all night, I'll go ahead and get started. Fast Masters doesn't care to join with us. Yeah. We'll get to that bridge when we get there. But we'll start with Shelly the Turtle. I kind of lucked into this podium, I guess, with Electric Blade pulling the choke of a century of this race. He looked strong in the first stint. Had a pretty healthy lead with the low downforce. Got cucked in the pit stops. Dropped to third in the train. And couldn't quite work your way back up to the front, but walk us through your race. How you felt?
Yeah, those
Fighting
mediums.
at the front again.
Yeah, those mediums felt, pretty good. Had on that lead for about 11 laps, 12 laps. Wanted to make my pit stop, missed the old pit thingy, and got red. Got sent behind 2 guys and couldn't really make it up after that. Got past Cheesehead, and then Electric died, and took advantage of that. It was hard, felt miserable, but we made them work well. And hey, I'll take P3. There was 3 Migos, now there's 2, and rest in peace takeoff.
Well said.
Rest in peace.
See, next week, I don't really have too much for this race to add. I didn't have too much battling going up front, but next week we're in Miami for the United States Grand Prix. Feeling good about Miami? How you feel?
Yeah, I've done about 15 laps around Miami since the game came out, so I'm feeling superb. Unfortunately, Takeoff will not be able to watch Miami. Rest in peace, Takeoff.
It's one of his favorite cities.
Yeah. Alright, well, as Shelly said, rest in peace, Takeoff. Congratulations on your podium. Move on to Ben, who has been there, done that, and was 8 points away from clinching the championship today. From the Alpines, who are now tied behind him in points, but very healthy lead going into the last couple of races. Walk us through your race today, and then we'll get to how you feel going on the rest of the season.
Yeah, so in qualifying, I had my one moment of adversity when I heard my teammate. He said, "Oh, what the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, really?"
Apologies.
And so, apologies, everybody. Sorry, it's verbatim. I have to be honest to the record.
I do appreciate that.
And I'm like, oh, I'm already heading out the pits, and I was trying to get my stream turned on, got it all turned on, and I immediately see that he's parked in front of me, and his car. So I went to the left. I still had a tire in the pit lane. And I thought, oh, I'll be fine. And then his car started accelerating, and I got a 5-place grid penalty. And that was really infuriating because Suzuka, as evidenced by in the race, it's really, really hard to overtake. So I was really concerned that was going to harpoon my good pace. But things happened for me. People were taken out. People spun, and I was lucky enough to take advantage of it and end up second.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely Took the easy way to this one. Didn't really have to work too much for it, but the circumstances don't matter, I guess. The points are the only things that really matter in this situation. But you have a 42-point lead going into the last 2 races of the season, as long as everything from this race stayed the same. I'm not in charge of what happens after the race. But yeah, next week, Miami, think you can clinch it up there, home Grand Prix?
Definitely not a home Grand Prix, because that's in Florida. Boo. I'm from
Yeah,
Indiana,
but
so
United States.
My
all right,
my home race is, down in Indy. Anyways,
where we should be.
Yeah, hold on. You want to know what T-shirt I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing an Indianapolis Motor Speedway T-shirt.
Attaboy. Anyways, yeah. So, Miami's not one of my best tracks, but I don't think it's good for anybody. So. I just gotta keep I keep putting in really good performances and quality, and that's setting me up. So yeah, I just gotta keep doing that, and Miami should go well.
Sounds good. Well, yeah. I don't really have too much else to add. Acid Masters is gonna ask him what happened between him and Cam at the beginning of the race, and then what his tires were at. One can only assume, but. Congratulations.
How much Ben theoretically paid him?
Yeah.
To possibly wrap this up for him.
But I'm sure he'd be along the lines of, "Oi, bruv, had a good race, bruv. We won it, bruv." And
Chicken Nando's, bruv.
Yeah. And that there, boom. Thank you, Acid Masters. Congratulations.
Putting words in his mouth. Thanks, Acid Masters, for the interview. Yeah, I don't know how that's probably going to end up. I only caught the end of whatever the situation was at the end of the first lap there between he and Cam. But Cam did say he got pit maneuvered, so could be an unfortunate situation right there. But we'll see in the future what the stewards rule. Obviously, it's out of our hands now. So, big thanks to everybody tuning in, watching, everybody checking out what was another eventful AM Tuesday for the podium, of course. Actually, wait, no. Next week we're in Miami. You can check out U2 tomorrow. U1 Thursday. We're racing tomorrow night in AM1. Same old on that. Next week we're in Miami. But yeah, for the podium, of course, Shelly and Ben, and our artistic interpretation of Acid Masters. I was Kitten Petter. He was Andy Wu. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully check it out tomorrow night and next week and forever. See you in Miami. Not really looking forward to that at all. Recipes take off.